Okay, so let's make a start. Welcome to those of you joining live. Really lovely to see you. For this evening's class, we're going to take just a prop to, we're going to start seated. So easy pose, Sukhasana, easy cross-legged. Take something underneath your seat to keep you lifted. If you know that that's helpful for you, a blanket or a cushion. I've got a yoga block. See what you've got to work with. And take a moment to get comfortable. And if cross-legged doesn't work for you, if it feels more comfy to have the legs extended, or to come to a kneeling position instead, if it's tightness through the hips or anything like that, then just take a moment, make sure you're comfortable. Any light movements, let's get it all out of the system. It's hard to come to stillness if we know that we need to move first. So do that, make sure you're comfortable. Hands are going to land onto your knees, palms up, more open energy, palms down, more grounding. Take an option here that feels good for you. Feel those sit bones ground onto your yoga block or prop beneath you. So these bony parts of your bum, you might need to move the soft parts of the bum out of the way and really feel that connection to the floor. We're going to start just landing in this moment, the next half an hour just for you and your practice to stretch and move. To sit up nice and tall. And it might need a slight adjustment through the pelvis, rolling the pelvis forward to see if we can get some more lift through the back. Engage through the lower belly. See if you can give your lower abdominals a squeeze, sitting up tall. Imagine a beam of light shining from your tailbone all the way through your spine, the neck to the crown of the head. You want to keep that beam of light glowing strong and straight. Take one big breath in, eyes can be closed or soft, and one big exhale out through the mouth. Take one more. And a final one. And with your eyes soft or closed, start to tune into your breath. Let's take your focus inward. I'm going to start by taking in sounds in your environment, in your space that feel really far away. See the furthest point away that you can hear. Draw your attention to that for a moment. And gently bring the awareness closer and closer. Almost like you're turning the dial down on the sounds, environmental sort of noises and murmurs in the distance until all you're focused on are the little noises in your room, in your immediate space. Closer and closer until you're just focusing on the sound and feeling of your breath. Feel the air being drawn in through both nostrils, if breathing in through the nose is comfortable for you today. Feel the temperature, the flow, the sound of the breath in, the start of the loop of breath as you take it in through your nose. Visualize it traveling down into your lungs, feel your belly expand, and exhale, it flows all the way back out. Follow that visualization, that loop of in and out breath for 3 more counts. And for the next 3 breaths, I'd like you to bring to your awareness how you're feeling today in mind and body. Let's start with the mind. How's your energy today? Your focus, your mindset, how are you feeling mentally? There's no right or wrong here, just notice it, accept, be aware without judgment. And shift the awareness to how you're feeling physically today. maybe achy, tired, energized, whatever it is. Again, notice it, how you're feeling in your body today. No judgment, accept it, tune in, big breath in and out. You're then going to blink your eyes open if they were not already, and let the light filter back into your space. I'm going to draw some circles, semicircles first with the tip of the nose. So take your right ear to your right shoulder. You're going to draw a line down, a semicircle with the nose, chin to chest, left ear to left shoulder. I'm going to flow through 4 of these, 2 on each side. Breathe in as the point of your nose comes up. And take it over to the other side. And now this time, carrying the circle round with the tip of the nose, you're drawing a full circle. So the gaze lifts slightly and then the chin comes to the chest, ear towards each shoulder, but maybe not quite as deep as before as we draw a full circle with the tip of the nose. Take 3 in one direction and 3 in the other. When you've taken those 3, then lift your head, come back to stillness. Inhale to lift your arms up high, press down through sit bones and lift up high as you can to the ceiling, palms press. Look towards the thumbs if it's comfortable through the neck, just gently tilt back, reach the fingertips as high as you can, press the palms together. Exhale and release. Draw the arms down either side to separate, elbows in line with shoulders, cactus arms, lift the chest, gaze slightly up. As you breathe out, send the hands up. And exhale again, down, cactus arms. You're going to release, bring your hands together, palms together, center of your chest, or slightly higher actually. And press the hands together and take some circles through the wrists. So you start with palms pressing, fingertips towards each other. Let the fingers separate. And take some circles, 3 in one direction, 3 in the other. And then hands draw to the shoulders. We're going to draw some circles with the elbows. 3 clockwise, 3 counterclockwise. Lift your arms up again. Inhale to lift up high, palms press. This time as you let them separate, right hand tracks behind, left hand travels to your right knee. Inhale to lengthen and exhale to twist. Draw your right shoulder behind you and maybe the gaze follows, tracking back. So you're peeping over your right shoulder to the space behind, hips stay forwards. Really nice. Inhale to lift, reach the arms up again, super high, big stretch, growing taller every single time. And then right hand to your left knee, left hand tracks behind. Inhale to lengthen, exhale to twist. This time peering back over your left shoulder. The more we look back, maybe a stretch arrives through the neck into the top of the right shoulder. And then release, hands come to your knees. I'm going to send the fingertips forward, walk them gently forward. Try and keep the chest lifted and a flat spine. So try not to round with the shoulders creeping up to the ears. If that happens, try and draw them down, press through the fingertips. Sit bones press to the floor. Inhale to lengthen, reaching forwards. And maybe if you want a little more here, elbows draw down towards the floor. And maybe the head drops down. Staying here for 1 breath in and out. Walk yourself back up. Now take the hands behind. Allow the chest to lift. Fingertips find the floor. Maybe pressing onto a cushion or a block for some extra lift. Chest lifts up, gaze tracks high to the ceiling. Breathing in and out. Allow the shoulders to roll back. And release. I'm going to rock forward to all 4s. And come to a tabletop. And move through a couple of rounds of cat-cow. We're just going to take 3. So with the pace of your breath here, hands under shoulders, knees underneath hips. Inhale to drop the belly, lift the chest, tilt the pelvis so your tailbone reaches up high towards the ceiling. Extension of the spine here as you're lifting up, and exhale to round down. Press down through both hands, through both knees, and your back is rounding, creating space between both shoulder blades. Continue moving for 2 more rounds with the pace of your breath. Inhale for cow, exhale for cat. Really nice work. I'd love you to explore every movement in this sequence today to its fullest. Really connecting to the movement and have kind of a moment to savor how it feels. Not just moving through the motions, but really feeling into every transition as you connect movement with breath. Take the hands slightly wider than shoulders. Fingertips, heel of the hands pressed to the floor. Curl the feet under. Inhale to hover the knees. Exhale, hips high, head low, downward facing dog. Walk out, your feet lift and lower one heel and then the other. Press down equally through both hands. Inner elbows face each other. Your shoulders are lifting up high, hips high as well. Finding an upside down V shape, as though someone's picking you up from the front of your hip creases. Tailbone reaches up high to the sky, and maybe your knees are straight or we keep a slight bend. Heels can be low to the floor or lifted. Find stillness. Breathe in and out as your chest pushes back to your thighs. Really nice. Look towards your hands, step your right foot forward, come into a low lunge. Take some support under the back knee if you need it and curl your back toes. Inhale to lift, find stability through the pelvis, draw your right heel back, your left heel forwards. Hands track to heart space, Anjali Mudra, center of the chest, breathe in. Inhale to lift up high, separate the hands, allow the hips to sink down as low as feels good for you. You're opening through the front of your left hip. Squeeze back with the right heel, forward with the left knee. Strengthening at the same time. Exhale to sweep the hands back, pull up the right toes, you're straightening through the right leg. Maybe the fingertips find the floor and you stay here, or they sweep back behind, a little more balanced challenge. Try and keep the chest lifted. We're not rounding down here, so draw the shoulders back. Inhale to sweep up for low lunge. And exhale back, Ardha Hanumanasana, half split pose. Moving with breath. You're going to take 2 more, either flowing or more static, where we move and stay, hands to the floor, your choice. Final one, big breath in to lift. And exhale to pull the right toes up, straightening through the right leg. Excellent work. Hands come to the floor. Curl your left toes under, lift the left knee. The weight pushes forwards into the right foot. Fingertips find the floor. Maybe the whole hand meets the mat. You've found some space now with the back knee lifted. Send your right foot back. Come into a plank pose. Press down through both hands, lifted through your core. Drive through both heels. Press through every fingertip and every toe. Engage through your core. Keep lifted. We're not in a down dog and we're not sinking through the hips, so keep solid and straight, holding it here for 3, 2, and 1. Lower down in one solid plank piece, or knees first and curl the back toes. With control, elbows tucked close to the ribcage, chest kisses the floor. Inhale to lift, press the hands down, baby cobra. Just a gentle lift to begin with. Chest lifting, gazing forwards, elbows tight to the ribcage. Squeeze your bum and press your toes down. Really nice. Exhale to release. Curl both feet under, lifting up to downward facing dog. You're here for 2 breaths. Finding or refinding the position we were in a moment ago, when you feel you've got the alignment and your hips are high, your head's low, you're strong through the upper body and opening through the hamstrings. Stay here for 1 more full breath. Look towards your hands, step your left foot forward this time, low lunge left side. So you know what we're looking for here, left knee tracking over your left ankle. Uncurl your back toes, squeeze your left foot back, press down through every toe and the heel of the left foot, and squeeze your right knee forwards. When balance feels good, if you need support, take it. Inhale to lift the arms up high and then allow the palms to meet center of the chest. Anjali Mudra, press the fingertips together, breathe in and out. Allow the hips to sink to a level that feels good, so you've got a stretch arriving at the front of the right hip this time. Remember to switch on through the lower body. You're squeezing, you're strengthening. Inhale to lift the arms up high, separate the hands, stretch through every fingertip, big breath in. And as you exhale, send the hands backwards, lift the left toes, sweeping back to our half split. Obviously, you can stay with hands to the floor, always making a version of the shape that works for you. Inhale to lift. You're going to take 3 more of these with the pace of your breath, breathing in and up to come to low lunge, and exhale to sweep back, feeling the movement through the hips, the legs, the knees. Inhale to lift and exhale back. Maybe 2 more now. Coming back to low lunge, hands come to the center of the chest. And then pop your hands down to the floor. Curl your right toes under, find some space. You're in a runner's lunge, back knee lifted. The weight pushes forward into the right toe. So we're forward, left knee over left ankle. Great work. With some control here, step the left foot back, find a plank pose, your version. Half plank, knees to the floor, full plank. You take what works. Either option, your shoulders are stacked over your wrists. Breathe in and out, lower down with control. Inhale to lift, baby cobra. Or maybe a bit further this time. The legs stay on the floor, lift through the chest. Exhale, release. Inhale, curl the toes under, up and back, downward facing dog. Now look towards the hands, step the right foot through. Always an option to come to tabletop first and then lift. If you want a bit more sweeping here, feel free to kick the right leg to the sky and sweep it all the way up. We're finding warrior 1. Left foot to the floor. Press down through both feet. Big bend through your front leg. So the big bend in the right knee, maybe a couple of bends to wake it up today. When we're feeling good through the lower body, inhale to lift the hands, maybe looking up towards the fingertips. You've got 2 breaths here, paying attention to the feeling through from the feet, the back leg, so the left leg, around the ankle as well, really feeling into that space created through the back corner of the left side. And your hips are quite diagonal here, so we're not as open as warrior 2, but we're going to find it difficult to be fully squared to the mat with the foot to the floor. So we're maybe looking towards hips tracking to the top left corner of your mat. 1 more breath in. And as you exhale, open it out, warrior 2. Now with the arms open and the shoulders wide, the hips open to the long edge of the mat. Back foot turned in around 45 degrees, pressing down through the front foot, press into the outer edge, the right knee, we want it rolling over the right toes, not rolling in. Stretch from your right middle finger all the way down your right arm, across your chest. Left arm all the way to your left middle finger. Think about pushing the chest forwards, both arms reaching as wide as they can, opposite directions. Inhale to reach to the space in front of you. Take your right arm onto your right leg. Bend your right elbow. And it's as though you're holding up a tray of drinks here. So we're nice and active through the hand. If someone were to press down, we don't want that arm to move. Option to take the left hand to the hip, roll through the left shoulder, or we're lifting up here, left fingers to the ceiling. If we're more open through the hips today and we'd like a bit more space to move, maybe dropping the right hand so the fingertips point towards the floor, but we still want to be open through the chest. So if we come down here and we find that everything has dropped, then lift back up, right arm on right thigh. Big breath in, reaching the hands in opposite directions. Press down through the feet, hips forwards. Great work. Inhale, press down through the feet, lift up, warrior 2. Hands to the center of your chest, pivot on your back heel. Moving through to high lunge. So now the hips are square to the front edge of the mat. You're going to rock forward into the front leg, so right leg. Trying to keep the hands in your heart space through the whole way we move through this balance. Pressing into the right foot, you might want to shuffle the back leg in a little first. Press down through right toes, heel of the foot. Inhale to lift. See if you can hold the balance. So left foot is lifted. Knee in line with hip. Active through that left foot. Pull the left toes up. as high as they can, flex through the ankle. If the hip feels high, see if we can drop it down so both hips are level. Stay here for 2 more breaths. Great focus. Final one. You tap the foot down, release the hands. Inhale to lift the arms up, palms press. And now finding tree pose. We're going to revisit the right side. So I'm going to turn to face you. You can face the same way you are. So finding balance and strength through the right side. Lifting the left foot up. So hands will start on the hips. Left knee forwards, pick up the left heel. I'm going to take the left knee out to the side. And try not to kick the right hip out. So often when we come to this tree pose, it's easy to have that right hip kick out to the side. Squeeze your bum, squeeze it in. Want your hip directly in line with your knee, in line with your right ankle. Really good. So you can stay here, left heel to the floor, or maybe we start to creep the left foot further up the right leg. Always noticing that we have energy through the back of the left leg into the left glute. We're squeezing here to keep the left knee out to the side. Foot presses to leg, leg presses to foot. You can keep the foot here or work it further up your leg. If you want to find a deeper expression of this pose for the hips, then maybe taking the left ankle or left heel, sorry, up towards the right hip crease and practicing with a half lotus. You find a position that works, hold your focus, hold your gaze. You're here for 2 breaths. With the final one, maybe reaching the arms up to the ceiling. And release. Exhale, come out the way you came in, drop the left foot to the floor. Gorgeous work. Coming back to mountain pose, inhale, lift the arms up, palms press. Stand up tall, press down through both feet, squeeze the inner thighs together, reach up to the ceiling. And exhale to forward fold. We're taking a full forward fold here, so hands through heart space, hinge at the hips, bend both knees if you need to, fingertips find the floor. Inhale to lift, press hands onto shins, Ardha Uttanasana pose. We're in a halfway lift. Working towards straight legs with a lovely flat back. Crown of the head, shoulders and hips in one straight line. Big breath in. And exhale to forward fold. Hands come to the back of your legs, crown of the head to the floor, forehead towards the knees. Take a bend in your knees if you need to. Inhale, release the hands, step back. The palms of the hands find the floor, stepping back to plank pose. Pressing down, either with knees to the floor, but connected through every fingertip, squeezing to the floor, draw the energy up. Exhale to release, knees to the floor, or in one solid plank piece. Inhale to lift cobra pose, or maybe this time pressing the floor down, lifting the front of the hips and the thighs away for upward facing dog. Exhale to release, chest kisses the floor, press the floor down, inhale to lift back to downward facing dog. And look towards your hands, now stepping the left foot forward. We're finding warrior 1, left side. I'm going to turn this way. You stay where you are, press the floor down, use your core to feel the strength, use the energy from the ground beneath you. Big bend through your left knee, and our hips are towards the top right corner of the mat this time. When you feel good through the lower body, lift the arms high. You're staying here for 2 breaths. On your next exhale, open the arms wide for warrior 2. So hips push to the long edge of your mat, arms wide, chest open, shoulders back. Gazing over the front left fingertips, but noticing this back arm and being aware of where it lands. Noticing if it's dropped down, then give it a lift up. Reaching forward in opposite directions. Press your hips forward, press your feet down. On your next inhale, reach to the space in front of you, and we find our extended side angle. So this time, left forearm onto the left thigh. Option for hand on hip, or if we're good there, maybe reaching the fingertips to the ceiling. And for more stretch and opening kind of shape through the hips, left fingertips stay straight and they point down towards the floor. So your elbows into your inner knee, fingertips are just touching the inner foot. arch of the foot. Opening through the chest, wherever you are here, right fingertips powering up, squeezing the thighs together. Inhale to lift all the way up, warrior two. Really nice, great work. Hands come to your heart space, Anjali Mudra, lift up on the right heel. So we can shuffle that in a bit for some more stability. Right heel lifts, big bend stays through the front left knee, but now hips are facing to the short edge of your mat. Find focus. Press into the toes. We've got one more breath here. You're doing so well. Now press into the left foot. We're going to find that single leg balance now on the opposite side. So finding some space, make sure you have some space to move. Inhale to press into the left foot, every single toe, use that for stability, and allow the right leg to sweep through. Really nice. If you need to tap it down, then do, and then come back in. Right knee in line with right hip. I want the hips to be level, so if you feel that's kicked up, then just drop it down. Holding it here for 2 more steady breaths. Keep your focus, hold the balance. Gorgeous work. Drop the right foot to the floor. Now finding tree pose on the opposite side. So firming up through the left side. Bend your right knee. You know where to go this time. And it might be the same as the previous side, or it might be different, and that's okay. We have these asymmetries in the body. And it's quite fun working out what we can do on one side versus the other. So hands come onto the hips. Being aware of the left hip, keep it squeezed in. Bend your right knee, foot presses to leg, leg presses to foot, and you find where you can hold the pose. Option always to keep the foot to the floor. And maybe if balance feels good, we can press down through the left foot. Lift the gaze slightly, and fingertips reach up to the ceiling. Stretching down from the floor all the way up. One more breath. And change, release, coming out the way you came in. Really nice, well done. Right foot to the floor. We're going to take it all the way down. So coming to seated, and we're going to take a butterfly pose, but a nice soft one. So coming to the floor, sitting up on a prop can be quite useful here. So a couple of cushions or a yoga block, shuffling to the front edge. Bring the soles of your feet together, allow the knees to open to either side. And after a fairly active flow there, we're going to move into a couple of slower postures now to close your practice. So start sitting up tall. Breathe in, lift the crown of the head to the ceiling, shoulders away from the ears. And start to slowly slouch forward. We're taking a soft, more restorative approach to butterfly pose, Baddha Konasana. Hands can land on your feet. Soften the body forwards, and the heels just draw in as close as feels good for you, as close as you can get for a stretch to come to the inner thighs and maybe around the low back. You can always take the hands to support the forehead. And in this soft, rounded version of butterfly, we're allowing the body to be passive, using gravity, using the shape we're coming into to do the work, a passive approach, different to how we sometimes arrive at butterfly. And adjust the feet as you need to, bringing them closer in or further away. You're going to be feeling this openness come to the hips, the glutes, and maybe the lower back. I'm going to take 5 more steady breaths. Keep the breath slow and controlled as you can, maybe counting in for 3 or 4 on the inhale, and out for the same. Moving through your final 1 or 2 breaths in this shape. And press your hands to the floor and gently lift. Push yourself up. Lifting the head slowly, slowly, and then bring the knees together. Send your hands behind you. Stretch the legs forwards and give them a little shake. We're going to come all the way down to the floor. To take some support underneath your head. You can move the block to one side, or that can also be used for support if you'd like to. Bend both knees when you're down there, head to the floor. Take your knees as wide as your hips, soles of feet flat to the mat, palms facing down. So with your shoulders and your head supported on the floor, make sure they stay down. Palms pressed down, feet pressed down. And if it's okay for you through the back today, we're going to lift. We're going to take 2 gentle half bridge lifts here. So pressing hands and feet to the floor. Peel the hips up, lifting the pelvis and every section of the back until only the upper back and the shoulders stay down. Press down through the feet, press down through the hands. Lift up and hold. And then gently release. Do that one more time when you're ready. Press down through hands and feet and lift. Slowly, slowly lifting up high. Squeeze the knees into each other. Press the hips up. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and release. Let your left leg stay long. Or take it long, sorry. So we're just straightening out through the left leg. Pull up through the left toes towards the face. Bend your right knee. Squeeze it in towards you. Knee to chest or knee pulling up to the armpit. Staying here for 2 breaths. Left hand guided to the outside of the right knee and bring that knee across your body over to the left side of your mat. Right arm can stay out long or maybe into a cactus shape. And the right shoulder needs to stay down here. So opening a stretch through the chest. If it has lifted, but the knees to the floor, then just rock back slightly, ease off. If you need 2 legs bent and that's more comfortable for you, then you take that version. Just 3 more breaths on this side. Inhale to lift the legs back through to center. Give them a squeeze in. Some circles through the back. Gently massage in, so one direction, then the other. And then we'll do the same on the opposite side. Right leg goes long. Flexed and active through the right ankle and foot. So the toes pulling up towards the face. Really good. Hands come to the front of the left shin. Again, active through that left ankle. Left knee in towards your armpit and squeeze in as much as feels comfortable. So your arms are your levers here. You're in control of this shape. You have 2 breaths. And then right hand is to the outside of your left leg. Guide it over. Left knee comes to the right side. Again, making sure that left shoulder stays down. Gazing up to the ceiling or over towards the left hand. Straight or cactus, you take your pick. Two more breaths. Inhale to lift the left knee, one final squeeze. Knees into chest. Then let your legs and your arms go long, full body stretch. Fingertips reach above the head, toes point away. And then come to settle to corpse pose for a short, sweet Shavasana to close off your practice. So palms are going to face up if you have the arms extended. Going to allow the shoulder blades to settle more flush to the floor. Other option for you here is to take both hands to your belly. Close the eyes or soften your gaze and just allow your body to relax. Take any little movements that you need to just work out of your system before you come to be still. Bringing the focus back to your breath, but now just to watch. Just observing, not holding. On your next breath in, imagine this wave of peaceful energy starting at your toes and flowing up the front of your body, over your legs, your belly, your chest, shoulders, face, all the way to the crown of your head. And as you exhale, it's washing away all that you don't need to take into the rest of your day. Anything that isn't serving you. So breathing in again, following that flow over your body, all the way to the crown of your head, this feeling of peace and relaxation. On the exhale, watching it flow over, washing away all that you don't need. And take 3 more of those steady flowing breaths. And you can release that visualization, let that go, and just come to breathe in your natural rhythm, natural breath pattern in and out. And gently move through hands and feet, wiggling fingers and toes. If you do have the luxury of time and space that's uninterrupted, then you are really welcome to stay where you are. I'm going to close us off this video in a moment. So you stay in your space if you can, if you'd like to, but otherwise we'll start to move. Bend your knees, come onto one side and bring yourself through to seated. I'm going to finish where we started. In a nice easy seat, sitting up tall. Inhale to lift your arms high when you're there. Palms pressed, sealing the energy of your practice. Draw your hands through to your heart space. Bowing forwards, you can release the hands to the knees if you prefer. And we're going to close your practice there with a final thanks to you for making the time to come to your mat today, to move, breathe, and be with yourself. It was a pleasure to guide you through that. I hope you feel better for it. Namaste. Well done, everyone. I'm going to close us off there.